YouTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be doing a book haul. What's new? I've accumulated quite a lot of books. The lovely Janet from Swirly Girly Reads really treated me this month in our sort of book exchange, so I've got quite a lot of books from her, and then just a few I've picked up myself, so let's dive in. The first one, which was gifted to me from Janet, was Summer of No Regrets by Kate Melinda. I love the cover of this. It's starting to get summery feeling around here. The sun is shining, so I just thought it was about time to pick up some summer reads. So I'd added this to my wish list, and she very kindly got it for me. This is the story of four friends, and it's their sort of last summer before they go off, I think, to university, or, oh no, it just says after exams, so maybe it is before they go to A-levels, or maybe off to university, I don't know. But they decide they're going to go and sort of spend a summer with no regrets. So I think one of them decides to go off and see the father they haven't seen for 6 years. One decides to find their birth family because they're fostered. Another decides they're not going to let their mother sort of keep them in the house and they're going to have adventures, and one more, it goes off to science camp. So I just think this looks like fun. It's not a terribly long book. It's only sort of just over 200 pages, so it should be a nice light contemporary to read over the summertime. The next one I picked up is called The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, and this just sounds really good. I've heard loads of good things about this. It is a new adult romance, maybe adult, and it follows a girl who has, she was born in Alaska. Her mother moved her before she was about 2, I think, to move away to Toronto, and she has gone back to Alaska because her father is dying and she wants to spend time with him and reconnect with him, and it's, you know, a very different type of lifestyle. She's not used to this sort of outdoorsy lifestyle. There is a sort of a connection with a pilot, and I think it's sort of a love to hate thing, I don't know, or a love to friends to a hate to friends to love thing, I don't know, but I've heard really good things, and so I thought I'd pick this one up. The next one that Janet very kindly got me is called Of Metal and Wishes by Sarah Fine, and I believe this is sort of an homage to the Phantom of the Opera. It's about our main protagonist who, I think she works in a slaughterhouse. She's 16, she assists her father in his medical clinic, and there's this sort of rumour of a ghost that grants wishes, and she asks for this wish and it comes true in the most brutal way. I'm not sure what happens, but I just think this sounds really different, and it's been on my wish list for ages and ages, so I was really happy when she got it for me. This one sounds really good. Again, it's got that sort of summery feel to it. It's called Just Visiting by Dahlia Adler, and this is I think about 2 friends. They're really you know, tight friends. They want different things in life, however they've always been friends, and I think this follows them in their sort of first forays into college life, and finding themselves, finding out who they want to be and where they want to be and what they want to be doing, and does their friendship still have a future in those different you know, paths that they're taking. So this sounds really good, and I'm looking forward to trying this one. And this one is another one she gifted me. It's called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and this gives me that sort of same vibes as 6 Stories did by Matt Weslowski. It's got that sort of parallel to the Serial podcast. It's about a murder that happened. A boy is meant to have murdered his girlfriend, and everyone sort of thinks he's done it, and he's gone away to prison, and yet this one girl is picks to study it for her sort of end of term project, and she's not so sure that he did do it, and so she starts to sort of delve into things, and no doubt there's going to be sort of a thrilling element to this. There's things people want to keep hidden, and I think it sounds really interesting and a bit of a thriller. The next ones, there's 2 I picked up in foils at the South Bank Centre in London. I went out with my daughter for the day, and I picked these up in in foils. This one's called Meat Market by Juno Dawson. I've had mixed success with Juno Dawson, but a recent book, Clean, that I read by her, I really enjoyed. So I wanted to pick up this one. It's I think her latest, and I think it just sounds like it's going to be in the same vein as Clean in terms of its sort of writing style. And this one is about a girl. She's sort of getting fed up with the way people talk about her for the way she looks. She's got this sort of androgynous look, and then she is scouted by a talent for a modelling agency, and she gets thrown into this sort of world of models and fashion, and is sort of out of her depth, I suppose. And this is following that. It's sort of meant to be a rags to riches tale and looking maybe at the sort of darker side, I don't know, but I just think this sounds like a really interesting read. This next book I just saw on a table, and I think someone had put it down there and it wasn't actually meant to be there, but it just sort of felt like fate. It's called Kismet by Luke Treadget, and there was two things that I read on this that I thought I must pick this up. The first is, if Fleabag were a book, this would be it, which I thought, that sounds brilliant. And the other was Black Mirror meets Bridget Jones. This dark comic dating app novel is one you'll be pushing under friends' noses for weeks after. So I just think this sounds brilliant. It's about a girl, she's got a boyfriend, she's got all sorts of things going on in her life. She's really happy. It says she's got a big birthday around the corner, an important project at work, a long-term boyfriend, but she's just not 100% sure that everything is how she wants it. And so she downloads this new dating app called Kismet, and I'm sure we will find out what happens. And yeah, it sounds really, really good. This book I picked up because I think well, I just want to read a bit more about it. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I might be a highly sensitive person, and I would like to find out a bit more about it. And that sort of came to me more, that sort of realisation, because I think my daughter might be a highly sensitive person. And I saw a few people have talked recently about it, but I saw Emma talk about it on her channel, and she is a highly sensitive person. She was reading a book by Elaine N. Aron PhD on her channel called The Highly Sensitive Person, and she also does a book called The Highly Sensitive Child, and it says helping our children thrive when the world overwhelms them. And I wanted to read it to see if maybe Matilda if it can give me any tips. There's just some things that I think hit some buttons that I think she might fall into this category, and if there's anything I can do to help her and understand her more, then I want to. So I want to read this and sort of get a bit of an idea of what it is all about, really. Another book that the lovely Janet gifted to me is Company Town by Madeline Ashby. This is science fiction, I think, or fantasy, I'm not sure. It's about this sort of town, this oil rig. Everyone's got these sort of medical genetic engineered enhancements apart from one person, so she's a bit of an outsider, and it's about sort of the darker side. It says a brilliant and chilling look at our post-oil future. I haven't been this hooked on an SF novel for ages, so yeah, see what. I think it's been on there for ages, so it is time that I should read it. And then the final book is one that I had on pre-order, and that is I Love You So Mochi. I love Mochi. I know that's not a reason to pick up a book, but I love Mochi. If I go to any sushi restaurant, I want to know there's Mochi for dessert. And this is by Sarah Kuhn, and I just think the front cover looks so cute. This is about Kimi Nakamura, who loves a good fashion statement. She's obsessed with transforming everyday ephemera into Kimi originals, bold outfits that make her and her friends feel like the ultimate versions of themselves. But her mother disapproves, and after they get into an explosive fight, Kimi's entire future seems on the verge of falling apart. So when a surprise letter comes in the mail from Kimi's estranged grandparents inviting her to Kyoto for spring break, she seizes the opportunity to get away from the disaster of her life. So this, I think, is going to follow her on her trip to Kyoto, and obviously look at her life a little bit more and how it changes when she's there. Maybe she discovers a whole new side of her, who knows. Anyway, there's some books that I got recently. Have you read any of these? Let's chat as always, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.